Yeah, I think he was probably just finding a way to explain that I kind of go more from intuition and feeling and than from a specific musical education or a knowledge of, how music works on a mathematical level or something like this. More just by ear and, waves of color and inspiration from God knows where.
I mean, so your melodies are just kind of coming internally? I mean, you're not sitting down at a piano or a guitar, or, I mean, do you play any instruments at all?
No, I really don't. I think I play 3 pretty good chords on the guitar. And, yeah, they come from, I think, I don't know if it's internal or external, but just from listening to the air. And obviously being inspired by the textures and the chords and, the interplay between Josh and Flea and Chad. There's always a suggestion of melody in the air based on these
I see.
chords, and sometimes they come in an a cappella sense, and I know when they're right for the song because they feel special in my heart. It's like when I hear a melody and it makes me move emotionally. I'm like, okay, that's the melody for this song. Same with words. They come flying in from wherever they come from, and sometimes easier than others. But yeah, I'm definitely the uneducated musician in the band.
It's a real privilege to watch what Anthony does.
Oh, really?
Like from just watching his face go to coming to watching the melody come, to watching the lyrics come. It's incredible. Like it's something that I've never worked with someone who's a singer, just a dedicated singer and vocalist, lyricist. It's amazing to watch the entire process happen. I'm someone who does all those things in my own way.
Yeah.
To watch it happen in such a thoughtful, meticulous way
That is cool.
It's very, it's inspired me and made me.
So I mean, along those lines. You'll be playing something, you'll hear Anthony singing something, it will suggest something, and then after the fact, kind of once the basic parts are done, a lot of your little parts tend to swim in and out, and they're like bouncing off his vocals, and are those things that are just kind of created in the moment? His writing has suggested these little parts and the little wah on a section, or the delays and things.
Yeah, I think we all inform each other. For a lot of the songs, they were born out of either jams or pre-existing, chord structures, and there's just tons of things that could be done. Whether it was a jam or pre-existing chord structure. Like finding a place to put all those little things, around the melody or around the vocals. It was a challenge / privilege to do.
So there's a lot of room for you as a guitar player in a band like this to kind of bring out the effects and little.
Yeah. For me, it's the comparison between John and I've read is like me being more textural than him. Like to me, with Flea and Chad, holding down so much weight, like I don't see how you couldn't play like I play, and just like I don't see how you couldn't play how John plays. There is so much room for one to be themselves, which I think is what this band is about.
Interesting.
For Anthony and for all of us. But I think everyone does what they do personally and thoughtfully and remarkably.
Cool. I know that Brendan's Death Song was kind of the first piece that kind of came to you. Does that suggest a direction at all? I know that you wrote over the course of a year, so obviously there's a long time spent here, but will that song sort of harmonically put you in a direction, or is each song sort of a separate entity? I mean, certainly these songs sound nothing like one another, but, once you found that one, you go, yeah, that's a place that we could kind of hang the other things around. I mean, does it work like that at all?
No, we, one of the benefits of being in the Red Hot Chili Peppers is there really are no rules to what you can play. We'll play anything from blues to punk rock to something jazz-inspired or African-inspired, or just anything under the sun. It's like, oh, that doesn't fit. It all fits. Anything we play belongs in the band. And so just because the harmonic nature of Brendan's Death Song came early, it wasn't like we're like, oh, that's our direction.
I see.
That's just going to be one of many, many, many flavors that we find over the next year. We were happy with that one. It felt really truthful, and we kept it. We filed that away as like, must return to this little piece and finish it someday. But yeah, like the next thing that we played could have been completely electronic sounding or in some weird time signature. It all goes, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, Red Hot Chili Pepper fans are pretty loyal. I mean, they'll follow you to these different places. I mean, certainly a lot of bands couldn't get away with that. Certainly a new band coming out with a record like this, be like, whoa, I'm not quite sure where. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the benefit of having incredible success, the fact that you've been around for a while, that these fans know that when they hear a Chili Peppers record, they don't know what they're going to hear, and that is part of the allure.
But that could also be, part of why we've had success over a long period of time, is we're not trying to repeat ourselves or really be married to anything that we've done in the past or what we think we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be whatever the moment brings.
And as someone who grew up with this band, and not to sound like negative about bands or what I think this band is, you could be a fan of these people, music aside, like Anthony, Flea, Chad, John, who or Hillel, anyone in this band, you could be a fan of them as a person, as much as you know them or think you know them, just what they bring, you could, and I think that as a new member being in the band, that's why I think people will go there. I mean, they like these people, not necessarily, what, it's not about hits or, it's just like,
right.
You trust what they will, do and to you or to your life.
Right. No, you're right, because I mean, certainly a lot of bands kind of, losing a guitar player or, a guitar player leaving, whatever. I mean, that could be like a lot of bands have not, gotten through something like that.
Yeah, well, we've also always had a very, everybody contributes equally mentality. And so when we lose somebody as important as John, who's such a creative force in the universe, it wasn't a killer because there's still 3 other people that are creative forces that
Right.
have been contributing equally from day one, from note one. So it's not like, any single individual is responsible for, writing or carrying the weight of the band. We share it. So.
Just want to look at a couple of songs, just kind of real quickly here, guys. I mean, Happiness Loves Company, I just thought was just an amazing song. Kind of the piano stuff, which is a little bit of a different kind of a texture for you guys. And certainly songs, I don't know if it was composed on piano, but certainly the piano brings a different texture, more of a, like this legato thing that happens as opposed to, creating on guitar. I mean,
I think it was composed on piano. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was born from Flea's Renaissance period at USC.
Cool.
Checked into school to improve his piano playing and his knowledge of music theory, and some of the classic musicians from hundreds of years ago who figured out some pretty good ways of writing songs that Flea wanted to learn about. Yeah, so that is born from piano.
Interesting. And your performance, I mean, on your vocal performance, I mean, it almost doesn't sound like you, like this, your voice goes to this different place, and there's just different qualities in there. I mean, are you aware of?
On that song?
Yeah. I mean, are you aware of that at all? I mean, like, if somebody listening going, Chili Peppers song? I mean, in a very unbelievable way. It just takes on another kind of a
Well,
tonality.
there's a lot of different vocal tones in that song. It has, 3 or 4 very distinctive vocal flavors, but they all feel like me to me.
Yeah.
I like that Frank Zappa gets a shout out in the lyrics.
Oh, is that right?
Well, Mothers of Invention.
Great.
Beth is deep into Frank Zappa.
Oh,
It's weird, right?
I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know why.
neither.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
Probably the skin tone.
Just a couple last quick questions here. Josh, could you run down sort of real quickly kind of your guitar kind of amp rig here? I was looking at some of that stuff out there. I mean, that's pretty cool.
For recording, I use this radial box that sent a signal out to 7 different amplifiers at once.
Wow.
Which were Gibson Falcon, Fender Super 6, Fender Super Reverb. The tracking guitar was always a Marshall Major, and on 412. We used an orange cabinet with an amp head. Like, there was always 7 amplifiers being recorded at once, and we would blend. But the tracking guitar was always a Marshall Major, and this 412 Marshall.
And guitars?
A 67 Fender Custom Telly and Chad Smith's 1962 Strat.
Really? Wow.
90% roughly.
Cool. And so at the end of the day, you have this new guitar player, this new record that's been a couple of years in the making. I mean, are you sort of your worst critic, or do you kind of love what the Chili Peppers are making? Can you look at that record and go, that's a record we set out to make, or we, almost missed it there?
I love the record. I love the record. I've been listening to it for 2 years, and the other day I was on my way to rehearsal at the Forum, because we were doing a production rehearsal with the new stage and the lights, and I was on my motorcycle, which has a CD player, and I was absolutely cranking our record, and little did I know that our manager was behind me in the car going, "Who is that listening to the new Chili Pepper record?" And then I get to rehearsal and I was totally busted. But yeah, no, I'm really proud of it. It definitely surpassed any, not that I'm a man of expectations, but whatever level I hold ourselves to in terms of quality, it passed that. So, and I feel like our best is yet to come.
Yeah.
I feel like our next effort will be pretty beautiful.
Yeah, cool. Great, guys, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Brian.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.